So if I can see in any of those 4 different kinds of rooms, I'm very confident pretty much on the rest of the condition of the whole building. Okay, now the next thing, we've looked at what you can afford. We're looking at the margin from the opening bid to the value of the property. We're looking at the condition of the outside of the buildings. And now we want to look at the conditions of the building. Now, the most expensive thing to fix on any building is the roof. I will bid on a building that has an old roof, but if I look at the roof and I see significant problems or issues, or I think I absolutely have to correct that before I can sell it, typically it's off my list. Some of the smaller homes we've seen would have had $4,000 or $5,000 roof. You could easily put $10,000 into a roof. So that's a major consideration when you're looking at these. Next thing I do is I check the driveway and any other additional cement that's on the property. That would include the sidewalk, the walk up to the front steps, anything where it has cement. Cement's the number 2 most expensive thing to fix. Then you're going to check to see if there's garbage in the area, kind of like that last slide that we looked at, that kind of stuff. And then you're going to look at, if it is not a brick building, you want to look at the siding and or the condition of the paint. Last year I was at an auction. I don't remember the name of the county. Building looked pretty good. It was older. It was frame. But the paint was peeling on it terribly. Either I or somebody I hired was going to have to repaint that building. And I was not willing to. It was a distance from my house. It was farther than the counties I normally work in. So I just said, I'm knocking this one off the list. But I was pretty much happy with whatever else I seen on that property. But if it's going to take you $2,000 to $3,000 to get it painted, there was so much peeling paint, somebody was going to have to spend a lot of time scraping paint. That's not something I want to do. It sounds like manual labor. So this is a nice 1-story home with a partially finished basement. Partially finished basements are, well, number one, a basement and a garage are really good for rentals, and homeowners like them. So that has 2 good signs on it right here. Curb appeal there looks really good, and it does not say that it's occupied. So I would pull in the driveway, jump out of the car or truck, and go up to the windows and see what I can see. In our auctions in the state of Michigan, you cannot take and enter a building under any circumstances. If you do, and they figure out that you've done it, good chance you'll be arrested by the police and taken to jail. For trespass. Okay. Now, technically, going to look in the windows is trespassing too. But once you deal with the counties, and once you deal with the auction company and all of that, this kind of information is going to come out. I never have a problem looking in the windows. I never have a problem going around to the back side of the building, any of that kind of stuff. So that is going to give you a major clue as to the condition of the building. Okay, 2-story home. that looks to be occupied. Number one, if it says anything about being occupied, you do not want to look in the windows, because if somebody's there, they could be calling the police to chase you away. And do you want to spend some time explaining to the police why you're looking in somebody's windows? I don't. Maybe I'm a little too choosy on that kind of stuff, but 90% of the buildings are going to be vacant. Now, I will tell you this, that it was occupied, remember, October, November last year. If when you pull up and it's obvious that the property is now vacant, I'd go look in the windows. Okay, 2-story home, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Now, this is interesting. The county is claiming that it is only worth $17,000. Now, it looks pretty nice, but opening bid is $3,200. That's not a real great spread, but everything I can see in the picture here looks good. I would probably list this as OB, or opening bid, which means I can go a little bit higher than that. 2-story home, in bad shape. Well, one of the clues that it's in bad shape is look at the big limb in front of the house. If they have not removed a limb that has fallen a while ago, they've not done any repairs to this property, plain and simple. So that is a major clue. I don't see a driveway. Now, I don't know if this is the front of the house or the back of the house. Occasionally, they'll take a picture of the back of the house instead of the front, because they want to show you the best side. So this could be the back of the house. I'm really not sure here. But I have looked at enough houses that I have seen the catalog picture be the back instead of the front. Now, they're claiming it's worth $74,000 and the opening bid at $4,500. There's plenty of spread on that. That's a good number. Both of those are. Okay, 2-story home, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. 3-bedroom, 2 bath is generally a great home. It is in the city of Battle Creek, so you could have some issues from ordinance officers, that kind of stuff. Now, there's something I looked at this picture that I find disturbing. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. The plywood on the window, okay? Now, there's really 2 issues to be seen. Looks like a small tarp on the left-hand side towards the bottom of the roof. That doesn't bother me at all. But if they take and they block your view conspicuously from a particular room, my biggest concern is there was a fire in this house. And even if it's a minimal damage, not a lot of people want to take on even a partially fire-damaged building. So it literally reduces your pool of buyers significantly on this. And so that's one of the reasons that I'll try to walk completely around every building that's not listed as occupied, just to see, because a lot of times it's not a front window like that that's completely blocked like that. A lot of times it's somewhere in the back of the building. So I would take this one off my list. They say it's worth $40,000. Opening bid is just a little less than $5,000, $4,600. If you could get it an opening bid, it would be okay, but it's been empty for a while. If you look at those bushes on the right side of the building, they're tall enough that I don't think anybody's been in there in a while. And of course, if there has been a fire, that's could have been the reason that they moved out. Now that, again, we've talked slightly about looking at the inside of the property. The number one most expensive room to fix is the kitchen. Number 2 is the bathroom. It's good to look in the bedrooms if you can't see in the kitchen or the bathroom. Living room is also a very good room to look at. So if I can see in any of those 4 different kinds of rooms, I'm very confident pretty much on the rest of the condition of the whole building. A lot of times you can't see in the bathroom very well because it either has a significantly smaller window or most bathrooms have frosted glass. And so that makes it difficult for people to see in the bathroom. Bedrooms, living rooms are pretty easy. Kitchens, not too bad. So let's see, nice home, great shape, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. A lot of homeowners really want 3 bedrooms, but other than that, sounds like it's in good shape. There's big enough. It's a $60,000 house for sale for $7,000. I'm putting that on my list, and I'd be a buyer all day long. Well, a little bit of mold is not a big deal. It depends on how much there is. If there is a ton of mold in a property, it could be an issue. Mold can be completely mitigated with somebody who knows what they're doing and fixing up property. Really, it comes down, if it's a small amount of mold, it pretty much comes down to bleach and water, and bleach will kill the mold, and you can clean up the surface, and it's not that big a deal. Now, this one we've seen before on the previous slide, and again, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. I'm not real excited about that. The minimum bid, the number is just too high for the value of the house, according to the county appraiser. 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 2-car garage. But again, all that stuff is in the front of the porch and all that. This probably has not been occupied very recently. Or if it was, the people just didn't care that much about what the outside of their house looked like. Now, this one looks pretty good. Large house on a corner lot, set up as a duplex, but the last sentence is needs lots of work. Now, from the outside of the building, I think it has great curb appeal. So not every house that has great curb appeal is going to be completely perfect. So I would try to see if I could see in there and kind of see what their version of a lot of work is. I bought quite a few properties off the MLS before I ever got to Ted's system, and I would see comments about, oh, that's in horrible shape. Well, my version of horrible shape and their version of horrible shape did not match up. Sometimes the ones that they said were nice actually looked worse than the ones that occasionally a realtor would list as in horrible shape. So it's one person's opinion that's very subjective. So this would be a very important one to try to take and look in the windows and go from there.